Hello everyone, welcome to Easy Biology. The topic is related to respiration, the energy releasing system. And the topic is about evolution in gases exchanging system. Evolution in gases exchanging system. Right. As we know already, depending upon how the organisms are developed, it is two types. One is the unicellular organisms, another one is the multicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. So, in unicellular organisms like amoeba, where there is no scope for the presence of respiratory organs, because it is a unicellular organism whose body is completely made up of single cell only. That is why we cannot expect any respiratory organ. Hence, the respiration is performed through body surface only, and the process is by diffusion. And even in some multicellular organisms like hydra, planarians and earthworms, roundworms, the respiration is through diffusion process, means through the skin whatever the air goes inside for the entry of oxygen and the air expels to outside, that means more carbon dioxide is sending outside through diffusion process only, because here respiratory substance means hemoglobin does not play any role in respiration. So in unicellular organisms like amoeba and multicellular organisms like these organisms, which type of respiration occurs means the respiration is occurs by a process called diffusion. Okay, right. Next, now we will discuss about respiration in multicellular organisms. Actually, when the multicellular organisms are performing respiration, the respiratory organs are formed such that depending on their habitat in which they are living. For example, we know there is terrestrial habitat and aquatic habitat. That is why in multicellular organisms, different types of respiratory organs are developed. In multicellular organisms, different type of respiratory organs are developed. That is, depending on the habitat in which they live, whether the habitat is terrestrial or aquatic. Whether the habitat is terrestrial or aquatic, so depending on the habitat, the respiratory organs are evolved. And also body size of the animal. Nothing but structure. So body size and availability of water. And type of transport system or circulatory system. Depending on these factors, different types of respiratory organs are evolved in different types of multicellular organisms. Okay, so we will discuss about what are the different types of respiratory organs and the respective respiratory system here. So first one, pulmonary respiration. We know already the respiration that occurs through lungs is called pulmonary respiration, and we see this type of respiration mostly in mammals. Okay, mostly. Of course, in few reptiles, in few other mammals which are living in aquatic habitat also, they possess pulmonary respiration only. And next one, branchial respiration, where the respiration occurs through gills. So it's been aquatic habitat, fishes. And third one, cutaneous respiration. The respiration that occurs through skin is called cutaneous respiration. So example, earthworm. Next, so pulmonary respiration occurs through lungs. It is called pulmonary respiration. The respiration that occurs through gills is branchial respiration, and the respiration that occurs through skin is called cutaneous respiration, and the respiration that occurs through trachea is called tracheal respiration. And this we observe in insects. So example, cockroach. So these are the various types of respiratory organs, so that the respective respiratory system is evolved. And why different types of respiratory organs or systems evolved means it is depending upon the body size of the animal, depending upon the habitat in which it is living, whether the habitat is terrestrial or aquatic, and availability of water, and the type of transport system present in that organism. Okay, so now we will discuss about, already we discussed about the pulmonary respiration. We will discuss now about the branchial respiration. Right. So respiration that occurs through gills is called branchial respiration. So for branchial respiration to occur, the fish has to continuously open its mouth. Okay, continuously the fish has to open its mouth. So no doubt the fish is living in aquatic habitat, right? In aquatic habitat means what? It has to take the oxygen from water. It has to take the oxygen from water. So for this, what it has to do? It has to open its mouth. Okay, so when it opens its mouth and lower the oral cavity, then the water enters into the mouth. Immediately it raises the oral cavity. Then the water jumps into pharynx. Okay, the water from the buccal cavity jumps into pharynx. So for example, if we consider this as the opening or mouth, and these are the gill pouches. Right, and so each one is called gill pouch, and this is called gill lamellae. Right. Okay, so this is the mouth of fish, and this is the pharynx part. So this is the gill lamellae or branchial lamellae, and this is the gill pouch or branchial pouch. Next one, these are called internal branchial aperture, and this is the external branchial aperture. Right, so what is going to happen here is, first, when the fish opens its mouth, immediately the water enters into the mouth. Then from buccal cavity, water jumps into pharynx. So the pharynx portion consists of pouches called gill pouches. These gill pouches consists of internal branchial apertures. So the water enters into the gill pouches through the internal branchial apertures, like this. So when the water enters into the gill pouches through internal branchial apertures, the gill lamellae takes the oxygen from that water and distribute to the total body. And now what will happen here? The gas exchange occurs. The oxygen is taken from gill pouch by gill lamellae and carbon dioxide is given to gill pouch. Now the water contains more carbon dioxide and less oxygen in the gill pouch. So those water which contain more carbon dioxide, they are sending to outside through external branchial aperture. So this is how branchial respiration occurs in fishes. Next one. Tracheal respiration. So respiration through trachea is called tracheal respiration. So best example is the cockroach. So actually trachea is one of the respiratory organ, means in case of our body it is one of the part, okay, in the sequence, whereas in case of insects it is the main part which is performing respiration. Okay, as we know already, there is colorless blood in the insect's body. So first what will happen, it opens with a chamber. Right. So here first what will happen, there is a small opening through which the air enters. Okay, so these openings are called spiracle. These openings are called spiracle. So from spiracle, the air enters into a small chamber called atrium. Atrium. Okay, so from spiracle, the air enters into a small chamber called atrium. From atrium, all the tracheal tubes, whatever is there, they all are connected to longitudinal tracheal trunk. They all connected to longitudinal tracheal trunk. Okay, so from longitudinal tracheal trunk, it is connected to tracheoles. So these tracheoles diffuse air to the total body, so which contain more oxygen. So first what will happen, when the cockroach perform inspiration, the body size of the cockroach increases. It means there is no air inside the body of cockroach. Immediately the air from the surroundings rushes into the cockroach body through a small opening called spiracle. From here it goes to a small chamber called atrium and then to longitudinal tracheal trunk. From there to tracheoles. So these tracheal tubes contain small structures called tracheoles. So these tracheoles take the oxygen, whatever the air enters in it, and diffuse to the total body. And when the cockroach perform exhalation, means the body size of the cockroach decreases. Immediately the carbon dioxide from tracheoles enters into longitudinal tracheal trunk. From there to atrium, from atrium to spiracles, the carbon dioxide more containing air sends to outside. Okay, so this is how the process is called diffusion process. Okay, so respiration through trachea is nothing but tracheal respiration, and it is the main part which is performing respiration. As the blood is colorless, here blood does not have any role in performing tracheal. That is why tracheal respiration is going on. Okay, as there is no role of hemoglobin and the blood is colorless, that is why tracheal respiration occurs in cockroach and other insects. Next one. Last one, cutaneous respiration. The respiration that occurs through skin is called cutaneous respiration. So for cutaneous respiration to occur, the main important thing is the skin must be moist. Okay, and we observe this type of cutaneous respiration in frogs. Okay, and even earthworm also, frogs and earthworm. Right. So how the respiration is going on? See, already we discussed, to occur cutaneous respiration, the skin must be moist. So to keep its skin moist, the frog perform three functions, either any one function to keep its skin moist. One is the coelomic fluid secreted by body cavity or coelomic cavity keeps the skin moist. And number two, the mucus glands produce a substance called mucus. That mucus fluid also keeps the skin moist, and often it jumps into water to keep its skin moist. Okay, so for cutaneous respiration to occur, the skin must be kept moist. And one more important here is, frog also contain lungs. Okay, but 75% of the respiration, or 3/4 of the respiration performed by frogs is through skin only. Okay, only 25% means 1/4 part only performed through lungs. Okay, 1/4 of the respiration is, whenever it is on land, it perform respiration through lungs, and whenever it is mostly, it perform respiration through skin only. So mostly it is living in water. And one more important is the respiration performed by the frog, and one more is buccopharyngeal respiration. Buccopharyngeal. What is buccopharyngeal respiration means? Here the frog is using its mouth and pharynx. Okay, the frog is using its mouth and pharynx to perform respiration. That is called buccopharyngeal respiration. So what we observed, even earthworm also, it is performing respiration only through skin. Okay, so as we discussed here, 75% or 3/4 of the respiration is performed in frogs through skin only. Okay, that is why if the skin of the frog dry, okay, if the skin of the frog dry, okay, it will die. Simple. If the skin of the frog dry, it will die. Okay, what about other reptiles like crocodiles and dolphin? Okay, so what about these organisms, how they perform respiration? They perform the respiration through lungs. Okay, they perform the respiration through lungs, even though they are living in water, but the respiration they are performing is through lungs only, because they possess lungs. Okay, so this is about the evolution of gas exchanging system and different types of respiratory organs in different animals, and we will discuss about another topic in the next class.